So we have both of them saying that they're ready, but the host is taking a shit. Oh, no, he's there. He's there. He started the game, and now we shall begin. For good. Okay, perfect. That's the game started. The loading screen, the beautiful loading screen on Habitation Station, the one and only map with the gold base. No Terrans are in here, so this might actually be a balanced game on the gold base map. Perhaps. Perhaps that's maybe too much whining. I will shut up now. The loading screen is about a third of the way finished. There will be a pivotal timing attack as soon as the loading screen finishes to send your probes to start mining and make a probe in your nexus. That is the timing attack that most players go for these days. Most Pro players, anyway. Okay, for the millionth time in a row, we have Nerd Slayer in the top right-hand position as the pink Protoss, and the opponent, from Team Elite. His opponent in the top left-hand position from Miraculous Gaming, the purple Protoss, Eternity Jung. This mirror matchup on this map, beautiful. We'll have, I've seen some very, very long games, long PvPs specifically on this map, and that is because of lots of stuff. Lots of just basically turtling. You can split the map into two very easily. Like, yeah, if you're a dominant player, you can actually hold all of these bases just by like standing like right here, and there's like a standoff. The players seem to split their map into two. Sorry for the jaggedy movement there. I was just trying to explain something. So anyways, you have Pylon both going down in their base, which means not much, except that there is not going to be a proxy 2-gate. So no super early action there. Proxy 2-gates are actually kind of interesting to watch some of the times, at least. But yeah, none of that right now. Actually putting a gateway here kind of like walls everything. No getting past that, basically. And we have actually Eternity Jung checking pretty much everywhere for proxy 2-gates, just making absolutely sure he's not getting cheesed or not getting that proxy, and he's actually getting double gas just like his opponent. Both going double gas, and basically a mirror build so far, literally the same. Let's see, the timings, even the timings are, well, this gateway is actually a little bit earlier, so there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. The gateway's going to finish about right now, and this one's only 7 seconds behind. That's okay. Cybercore is actually on the way. Only 2 people mining on one of them and 3 on the other. I saw him do this. I thought it was maybe a mistake, but it was not. Usually they have 2 and 2, like Nerd Slayer has right now, and the Cybernetics core on the way. Just a little bit behind this because, of course, the gateway was behind. They both tried to do it at the exact point. At the exact point that the gateway finished. You know, like you're supposed to do. And we have actually patrolling probe right here. I'm not sure why. Just for scouting. He is going to scout whatever he wants, but I mean, he's not going to be able to scout pretty much of anything. He just stayed there just in case he wanted to put a Twilight Council down in the middle of his face. Perhaps. I'm not sure. So we actually have Stargate going down in the back of the base here, and nothing of the sort for Nerd Slayer. Nerd Slayer just going for extra gateways, going to be producing those stalkers, trying to actually push before any sort of tech can come out. Basically doing a timing, an anti-timing, I suppose it would be called, before Eternity Jung is able to get the proper defenses. Eternity Jung actually just still scouting for proxy pylons, maybe for a proxy Stargate of some kind. Has his stalker here, but mostly proxy pylons probably. He has a stalker here. He's going to intercept this mothership core. A stalker versus a mothership core. Pretty sure his stalker could win, but I mean, he has 2 stalkers now, so that's no doubt about it, going to win that. And here, this mothership core is in fact going to be able to scout the Stargate, but not without losing its life. He's actually going to try to... he did not quite have enough energy for recall, and it wouldn't have mattered at that point. He would have died anyway. That is a lot of arrows in the chat. I see all those arrows. Relax, will you? So, Eternity Jung doing the scouting over here, or not scouting, but he's going to be hiding a probe, hiding a proxy pylon most likely. Here comes all the stalkers across the map, absolutely, and 2 stalkers are going to be able to greet this Oracle, and that's going to die very quickly if he doesn't run away. He is not paying attention, and the Oracle just goes down after killing like a lot of probes. This 2 stalker and sentry combo will be able to keep the Protoss. There's 2 Protosses. Keep Nerdslayer out of his base, and he will not be able to have any high ground vision until this mothership core comes back. Well, now it's coming back, but before it was not. We actually have oracles, more oracles on the way, or 1 more oracle anyway. Anyway, he's trying to expand Eternity Jung. That is quite a bold move at this moment in time, I believe. Lots of stalkers outside your base. No sort of expansion here. He's actually scouting around, seeing what happens. He knows that the stalkers are gone. He's going to actually be caught off guard there. Okay, ooh, almost lose a sentry. Robotics facility on the way. Another sentry coming out. Going to want to force field this ramp permanently, as permanently as possible. 3 sentries with perfect timing, I believe, is permanent, but that is insanely difficult to pull off, so he might actually want 4 sentries. He does have 3 gateways available for use, and he's actually get a time slow on the on his opponent's army there, and actually a 3rd sentry coming out. That stalker nearly dies. He's going to have to force field very quickly, and there's that 1 stalker does go down, but that Zilla loses half his health as well. There is, and all the entire army comes up. No actual energy left for a force field. I was wrong about that 3 sentry thing. That's kind of retarded. Not even close. But we have an immortal popping out just now, but actually just getting focus fired, and it's dead. The mothership core, using its photon overcharge, is actually pushing back these stalkers almost all the way to the ramp. Basically all the way to the ramp. It's actually ranges about right there. And but Mothership Core Nerdslayer decides to graciously put his finish off the rocks there, or whatever. So once this photon overcharge is in fact completed, there will be another immortal out, but that should be focus fired as soon as possible, and he does not actually focus fire. He's actually pulling probes, which he needs to. 1 random force field, not really a huge impact there. Another random force field, that was a little bit better, because he's able to get a lot of melee damage off with these probes. Not much he can do, though. He is losing a ton of probes, but at the same time, he's losing a lot of stalkers. Yeah. Let's see the unit count right now. 18 probes to 19. That is insanely closer than I thought it was, to be honest. That is the reason for that. I am a dumb person. I didn't even notice this. I'm so sorry. We have Eternity Jung actually warped in some zealots here. Actually put in an entire pylon in his base. I can't believe he didn't notice that, or I didn't notice that, actually. That's kind of crazy. So the actual units tab, we have 18 to 21. 21 for Nerdslayer. That's not as... Yeah, exactly. That would have been a way worse situation if Eternity Jung hadn't got this pylon up there, and if he just hadn't gotten that pylon up. Eternity Jung actually sending another Oracle, almost full energy, just as the Stalker... There's only 2 Stalkers here, just as they're leaving the base. He's actually going to be able to Photon Overcharge that and auto-attack the Photon Overcharge, because that's an attacking unit, basically. So he's going to want to... Yeah, he did stop his energy use. So that Photon Overcharge is, in fact, going to be what saved him from losing any more probes. Let's see the units tab. He's actually evened up in probes. And now the game is back in session, really. We see an Immortal coming out. Actually, Eternity Jung's going for his expansion quite a bit earlier than... nope, actually, never mind. About at the same time. Yeah. So this is Eternity Jung's entire army. Could have backfired if he got it caught out of position, but they did not, so that's fine. He actually just going to want to return home with that. Not really much he can do here, especially with the potential for another Photon Overcharge. The Oracle, again, comes in and just kills lots of shit, or delays mining for at the very least. But, oh, that Oracle is going down, and he does kill a sentry. That was very nice. And he actually escapes. This is the Beast Oracle. This is amazing. Look at that. And he decides to put one of these things on a pylon. And a Stalker and a Zealot. Not sure if that was quite worth it, but he at least knows where his army is. He's actually, Nerdslayer actually Putin actually put a observer on his army. So yes, so he can see DTs, I guess. Not really much of use to do that. The only reason would be to get kill other observers or CDTs, and it's really not a big possibility that the DTs are happening. And he is sending a hallucinated phoenix to scout now, and he will see that there's no DTs. He's going to see that gas is still being used to produce oracles or other stuff, and he will correctly assume that there is no DTs coming. And Eternity Jung doing the exact same thing. He's actually going to see this. Only sees the expansion, doesn't see anything else. He just sees this army, which he already knew about. Eternity Jung's actually looking to come back into this game. He's actually adding another Stargate and a fleet beacon, which will, in fact, if that kicks into gear and he starts getting all that tech up, that would be a huge tech advantage. And here comes another Oracle, but Nerdslayer is in fact ready. Hopefully Eternity Jung is watching his Oracle. And he is, in fact, watching his Oracle, but he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. He's trying to just kill some probes and get out of there. And he does, in fact, get out of there. But, and Eternity Jung going to the natural also gets out of there. Okay. Nerdslayer was not quite ready for that. He would have... oh, sorry. I got distracted by something in chat. He would have killed it if he had brought his army over here ahead of time. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not hard, what I was trying to say. It's just, I'm just dumb. Anyways, so we have Eternity Jung actually not adding to his army pretty much at all. Only going to go for the carriers. Or, well, I didn't know for sure it would be carriers. It would have been Tempest or carriers. I knew it was going to be, obviously, something from Fleet Beacon. So we have another hallucinated phoenix scouting here, and he's going to see, wow, that's a lot of carriers being built. Or actually, no, he does not. Well, yeah, he does see it. Okay. So now he sees what's going on. He sees, he's been teching, and I have not, and I've been sitting back. And all Nerdslayer's been doing is just maybe upgrading his ground, not really doing too much else. He's actually getting 2 Stargates now, and the Oracle comes back and dies. Not before killing a bunch of probes. The probe lead is heavily in favor of Eternity Jung now, or heavily, well, 6 probes. But yeah, it's still pretty much in favor. Eternity Jung has pretty much more of everything except upgrades on the ground. He does not have a forge, and that's the only thing that Nerdslayer has going for him at the present moment. He's going to try to catch up in this Stargate tech. He's got 2 Stargates now. He's going to maybe put some, I'm not sure what he's going to build out of there, but he's probably planning on building a fleet beacon as soon as he possibly can. He's actually getting a Twilight Council. Maybe he's not. Yeah, there goes the fleet beacon. And maybe actually nothing out of these Stargates until the fleet beacon finishes. But yeah, that Twilight Council, I'm not entirely sure what that Twilight Council is going to be for. But I guess we'll see. He is getting those ground upgrades, so it might just be for the upgrades and nothing else. But you never know. Okay, so that hallucinated Phoenix Scout actually scouts the Warp Prism, so that's not going to surprise him or anything. Moving across the map is Eternity Jung now, and we will see. While Nerdslayer actually tried to take a third and pretty much not in a position to actually defend that, I don't think. He's got some Immortals. Immortals are good, but I mean, Eternity Jung has more Immortals. He does not have as many Stalkers, though. That is the problem. And DTs are actually on the way for Eternity Jung, so now this Observer might come into play. But yeah, and Observer versus Observer, we actually have lots of shit dying. Sentries actually trapping one Immortal. Very nicely done there by Eternity Jung. That is very, very sad. That's half of his Immortals. He's actually getting Tempest now. Tempest to counter the carriers. Will actually be a good idea if he can get vision on them, of course. There is that, and whoa, okay. And that mothership core is dead, and all. Ooh, That's harsh. That observer just got like, wow. It's not as funny as I'm making it seem. Anyways, this Nexus actually gone up, but I don't think Eternity Junk actually noticed. Yeah, he did not notice this. He probably assumed that he's not getting it at all. Charge actually being put down, and there's a DT's warped in from the warp prism, so he actually did sneak that in. No, is the observer around? The observer is at his army, so he's not going to actually be able to take that out. The DT's are actually... Oh, he does have a cannon. That is a... that is something, at least. DT's actually going to take out this pylon, and that unpowers both stargates. So that's going to cut the Tempest count pretty much. And it doesn't unpower this though. I thought it did though. Was not quite an Artosis pylon, just unpowered 2 gateways. So we have this third, actually a pylon in the middle of the mineral line right here. Kind of weird, but that's all right. We actually have more DTs trying to just be warped in wherever they can. I was just gonna say, Eternity or Nerd Slayer has a really big advantage on the saturation count at his third, but he's losing so many probes that it doesn't matter. He's actually 10 probes behind. Eternity Junk has to transfer it. There he goes. There, he's transferring it. I was gonna say his main must be, yeah, his main is completely mined out. What about Nerd Slayer? Is basically mined out, so not transferring at this point would be very bad. He could even transfer a couple more over there, just even it out a little bit, and also get the gas. He is actually getting cannons at every one of his mineral lines now, not just at his main, so he can now actually DTs. You can see DTs. You guys know what I'm trying to say. There's the gold base for the first time in the game. I have been waiting way too long for that. Finally gets a gold base. Where is that noise coming from? Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Anyways, so both players have DTs, and only a cannon in not very many, in only his main and natural base. No cannon in the third base. So if a DT's warp in were to happen over here, it would be very very unfortunate for Eternity Junk, as he does have an observer with his army. Does he? He should. He doesn't though, but he has observers at least, I guess. So yeah. We actually had a couple of Zealots warped in there, but Tempests are taking care of that. Actually, a huge number of Tempests now for Nerd Slayer, but Tempest actually starting to be built for Eternity Junk as well, so he's going to catch up in that regard. And he also has these thingies, carriers, and let's see, the Tempest count is actually 4 in favor of Nerd Slayer, and we have more DTs coming in. Just killing these pylon over and over again is actually hurting the Tempest count of Nerd Slayer. I don't know why I keep tripping on words so much. That's okay. I don't care. Nerd Slayer is actually sending a couple of DTs over here and gonna go to the third. Now he has cannon, so that's not a too bad of a thing. He's actually getting an Oracle now. I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe for some revelation on the army once in a while. It's nice to keep track of that. The supply is now heavily favoring Eternity Junk, and it's only going to get worse, I believe, because of this gold base. This gold base is just going to amass lots of units. And actually, the DTs only scouted over here. They did not rally over. Now they're going. Okay, that's perfect. So the DT actually scouts this fourth, not in the gold. What a scrub. Not doing gold bases. So Eternity Junk sees the gold, or not gold, sees the base, and just kills a Zealot that was there, and he's actually pulling a lot of probes over there. Doesn't have anything at all on the ground. These kind of games can last a very long time, and he's actually got the zero cannon so far. He only has a cannon just started right now, so all these probes are basically free for this DT here. He's actually warping in some Zealots, but that's not going to be very helpful until he gets the observer over here. And he's actually killed quite a bit of drones so far, or probes so far. 43 probes killed the entire game. That's pretty much amazing. We have only Tempests. We have 13 Tempests and 10 13 versus 10 Tempest, so that is actually evening up quite a bit. Pylon's going down, though, for Eternity Junk. He's actually quite heavily supply block. He's going to add as many gateways as he possibly can to maybe have some sort of two-prong push. Not two-prong push, but two-phased push, basically. He's an entire gold base ahead of his opponent at the moment. He's going to be able to basically attack with all his army, all his air army, and now he's very, very, very far ahead in the supply with all his army, and then just re-max with all his gateways. I mean, that's kind of an obvious thing to use your money. Gateways they're not free, obviously, but I think the benefit from just having like a ton of things, just a ton of extra army, basically. It's basically an extra. It's like when Zerg makes a bunch of spore crawlers and then gets over 200 supply. It's kind of like that, because Protoss reinforcements are literally instantaneous, or not literally. I guess they warp in for 5 seconds, but they're proxied and everything. So not a big deal. Very, very wise decision putting all these gateways. Many gateways, like an insane amount of gateways. There's a structures tab, Yep. Gateways. It literally doesn't even show gateways. That's unfortunate. I'm going to just see how many gateways there are, though. While something's attacking, we have at least 16 gateways. Probably about 16 gateways. We have, whoa, wow, yeah, that is a very significant ping indeed. Actually, 3 Tempests right out in the middle, but the only thing that can chase the Tempest right now are more Tempests, so it's not going to actually lose that. It would have been very hilarious, though, or not hilarious, it would have been really sad, actually, if that had happened. Let's see the units tab. We have 10 Tempests versus 15 Tempests. That's a lot of actual Tempests there, and he actually almost takes one out. Actually, one-shots a Void Ray. This is actually amazing. These Tempests are getting killed. Actually evened up the Tempest count there. He's not focusing on Tempest. These guys are focusing on Tempest. Archons are happening. Lots of stuff happening. Archons are actually going down to Immortals, it looks like. These Tempests are actually getting quickly shot down by the Archons. And the supply is actually evening up now. The Tempest count has heavily favored Nerdslayer for the whole time. But now it's really close. Now, with his ground army advantage, he kind of... Oh, man, this is close. It was basically like a mirror fight. But the economic advantage is, like, insanely in... Yeah, Eternity Junk's favor. It was a close fight itself, but... Yeah, he had to GG there. That was some form of GG anyway.